There's our face. Okay, perfect. Now let's do slideshow. Perfect. Okay. Everyone is so freaking loud in here though. Okay, ready? Yeah. Hi, my name is Gabrielle Manganero,
My name is Addison Logan.
and we did the Northridge earthquake in 1994. Here's a little bit about when, where, and why. The Northridge earthquake occurred on January 17th in 1994 at 4:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This earthquake took place in San Fernando Valley, which was a suburb near Northridge, near Los Angeles. This earthquake occurred because of a sudden movement along a previously unknown blind thrust fault, which is now named the Northridge Blind Thrust Fault. The major shock of the earthquake lasted for around 10 to 20 seconds and registered a magnitude of 6.7. A blind thrust fault does not break the surface, which is why it's remained undetected before the earthquake, and people were unable to know about this. The depth was around 11 miles deep, and the buildup of this through the plate tectonics stress was due to the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. This area is also geologically active since it is near the San Andreas Fault system as well, so this is why the earthquake may have occurred here. Human impact. There were 57 casualties due to this earthquake, and over 9,000 were left injured, and 20,000 were left homeless. Many people were left to live in tents and shelters for the next few weeks or live with family members for even up to a couple months. There are many psychological impacts left with this earthquake. People had PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and many people feared there would be many earthquakes to come for years after the earthquakes as well. Many schools and learning facilities were shut down during this earthquake due to infrastructures being destroyed, so local hospitals were overwhelmed as well. The power lines and landlines were also taken down throughout this earthquake, so local hospitals and emergency vehicles were unable to get to people due to no power. This was hard hitting for victims who were also elderly, homeless, or in low-income areas because it had a really big effect on them as well.
So, some environmental impacts. The Earth systems that were involved were the biosphere with human illnesses, deaths, and possible wildlife impacts. The anthrosphere with several infrastructure damage, human wildlife interactions in urbanized areas. The geosphere with uplift, landslides, and fault rupture, which is the northern ridge thrust. The hydrosphere, ruptured water mains and liquefaction, which was the flooding in the atmosphere dust clouds that had fungal spores, which caused the valley fever outbreak. So, some examples of the fires the origin was the shaking that was caused from the 6.7 magnitude earthquake, damaged natural gas lines, which then led to leaks. The consequences, the leaks ignited, leading to several fires that were more dangerous than the actual earthquake. Floods, the origin of those was the damages the water mains that the damaging of water mains that had released large amounts of water onto roadways and ground. Consequences, this caused hazardous conditions. Examples being water overflowing freeways, preventing the access to emergency personnel and vehicles. Wildlife, it triggered thousands of landslides, which created a massive outbreak in the valley fever. The airborne fungal spores caused a decrease in several animal populations, and the slides killed off several burrowing animals, but most of this documentation focused on human cases and not animals. So these are some pictures of fires and floods. On the top left, you'll see the Santa Monica Freeway that had split and collapsed over the Senega Boulevard. And then on the bottom right, you'll see a ruptured gas main caught up into flames behind a crater in the middle of 11600 block of Balboa Boulevard and Granda Hills.
Some of the local, regional, and global impacts of the Northridge earthquake affected all of these areas, but specifically, it had a lot of local impacts. Many areas were severely damaged around the LA and San Fernando Valley areas, and many buildings and infrastructure systems were damaged, like freeways, interstates, and buildings like that. This was also a disruption to daily life. Many people were displaced from their homes, lost many of their belongings, lost pets, family members, and all of those things like that. For the regional impacts, there were major economical losses for around 20 to $25 billion were lost throughout this system due to businesses being lost, and also transportation systems were disrupted all throughout Southern California. Buses, train systems, all were taken down due to this earthquake. And while there weren't many global effects, the global reinsurance market was also affected due to all of the financial losses throughout the regional areas.
So some lessons learned would be one of them, the utility safety upgrades. Utilities that were upgraded were the automatic shut-off valves for gas lines and investing in earthquake-resistant pipes. Hospital and emergency faculty standards. California passed stricter laws requiring hospitals and emergency centers to remain fully open and functional after earthquakes. Insurance and recovery planning. The damages were around $40 billion, which strained insurance companies. So this led to California passing the California Earthquake Authority, a state-managed insurance pool to handle future earthquake risks. And then lastly, the transportation resilience. Several major freeway overpasses collapsed, shutting down vital routes in Los Angeles, which then highlighted the needs for stronger designs in bridges, freeways, and highways.
These are our sources. Thank you so much.